Let me now bring in Asa Hutchinson. He was the governor of Arkansas and a 2024 Republican presidential candidate. Governor, good morning to you, and thank you for your time, sir.
Absolutely. It's great to be with you this morning.
Yeah, always appreciate it. As you well know, there's this fierce divide right now that's emerged among Republicans over whether the U.S. should get involved in Israel's strikes against Iran. Governor, where do you stand on that issue?
Well, first of all, I see Iran as a threat to the United States of America if it develops nuclear capability, a nuclear weapon. And both our support for Israel, both the threat of a nuclear weapon in the hands of a terrorist state should be a concern to the United States of America. So I see the president as weighing this very seriously, no decision being made. And he's caught the Republican base off guard because he shifted positions from more of an isolationist position to recognizing Iran as a real threat and an opportunity to take out their nuclear threat. And so it is of a national security interest to the United States, and that's the debate that will happen in Congress. There's a division in the GOP. I come down that Iran is a threat both to Israel and to the United States. And we need to look at our best option now to make sure they don't develop that nuclear capability.
Yeah, a lot of infighting right now about the definition of Trump's tagline, right, of what America first really means. What do you think our red line should be?
I think our red line, first of all, should be measuring the consequences of going after their nuclear facilities with our weaponry here in the United States. And so what are the consequences? Will it lead to a broader war? Can we contain that? Thus far, the other Arab states are being more muted in their response, but it could change if the United States gets more engaged. Secondly, we have to measure the intelligence as to really what is the urgency, their capability now, and the intelligence that I see that's out there is that this is an imminent threat, and I think Israel has taken the right step in taking this action to eliminate that threat of a nuclear weapon in the hands of a terrorist group, Iran.
When it comes to this congressional resolution that we're talking about here, I'm just curious, do you find it at all interesting that there are Republicans now trying to limit the president's powers at this point, while at the same time championing his fight and his powers against California Governor Gavin Newsom in his corner, that he had every right to federalize the National Guard against his wishes? Is there any irony in that, or are these two completely separate things?
If you want to see irony and you want to see inconsistencies, come to Washington, D.C. and watch Congress for a while. And so certainly this is an illustration of that. And whenever Donald Trump throws a curve to the base and where he ran as a non-interventionist and now he's looking seriously at intervening, that's a switch that's going to enhance the debate. When I look at the Massey's proposed resolution, I think back to when I was in Congress and President Clinton had the bombing of Kosovo. You don't have to go to Congress in advance for initiating that type of action. You do have to report to them under the current War Powers resolution that was passed by Congress in 1973. So I think this reflects the debate, but it will not change the president's power and his ability to take action if he deems that the right and necessary for America.
Are you worried at all that this is headed in the direction of being the next Russia-Ukraine war, where there's still no peace 3 years from now? The United States is still weighing how much aid to send, how involved to get or not to get? Or are the American stakes too high here with Iran to let this go on in perpetuity?
There's a great deal of risk, and certainly it's one of the most consequential decisions that President Trump will have to make. And it's the unknown factors and the unintended consequences that is hard to predict. And you look back in history, and from the Iran hostages during the Carter administration to more recently the unpredictability of what's happening in the Middle East does give you concern. And whenever you have so many Americans and so many bases of the United States in the Middle East, they're a target if Iran decides to go full bore against the United States. So, yes, those are the things the president is weighing right now. But you've got to balance that with the imminent threat.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.